One of the most common issues that occurs when I'm watching film or studying teams is quarterbacks that have no awareness of anticipation. Let's take a look, for example, this click. This is a rhythm crosser by number 3 receiver. This crossing route has rhythm properties, meaning it's designed to come open at a certain point in the timeline. We call that the rhythm phase. That's 1.8 seconds. That's 6 steps from the line of scrimmage with the outside foot back. So as we catch the ball, play action across, and then take our drop, this is the break point of the rhythm crosser. In order to have great anticipation, the ball flight has to be in the air at the break point. The challenge for us as coaches is not only to get this information across to our quarterbacks, but get them the feeling of anticipation required where they don't have to think about this in the game. And this goes back to your clock. Your clock is your footwork and it's your drop. And most quarterbacks and coaches for that matter have no awareness of how to teach and dial in the clock. You can see here the quarterback throw is late. It's after the break point. The ball's tip should have been picked. If you look at the end zone copy and look at the huddle clicker down at the bottom, you'll see a clock show up at the bottom of your screen. Okay, the clock is at 20.57 seconds when the center starts to engage the snap. Okay, there's the snap, there's the play action, and the quarterback takes a quick 3-step drop. The last step of his drop hits at 22.77. So 22.77 minus 20.57 is 2.2 seconds. That is read timing. The quarterback should be off to a read route, a second route in the progression, a dig route, a curl, something intermediate in properties at this point in the timeline. So where's the breakdown? The quarterback has to understand when I play action across, that counts as a step. So in order to maintain rhythm timing after a play fake across, at the most I'm going to take is a 1-step drop. So I should be taking a 1 step, and now my feet are informing me I'm now on the rhythm phase at 1.8. If the quarterback would put his 1 step in the ground and throw off of this step, the ball would be out at 1.8 seconds. This would allow us to get the ball into that first window right here before this Mike linebacker can impede the throw. Okay, let's look at another example. If I still haven't convinced you. Here's another clip. This is Jaden Milroe with Alabama. He is working a same side toss action. You can see the route drawn on the screen. This is a rhythm crosser. Okay, this rhythm crosser has properties that cause it to break at 1.8 seconds of time and attacks vertically. The splashdown space is around 15 to 18 yards. Okay, here's the play action fake. That has to count as a step in the drop. After the play fake, what does Jaden do? He takes a 1, 2, 3. This is the moment in time where the ball is released, but you can see that the route break opens here at 1.8 seconds of time. So he's still into his drop, and therefore the ball is now late and it is picked off. So how do we fix this problem? Well, we have to define anticipation. Then we have to give the quarterback tools to measure it. And then we have to code it. And if we can do those 3 things, we can now grade it on film. We can carry it into drills on the field and then coach it from the game standpoint. All right, so how do we define anticipation? Anticipation is the action and decision of a throw into open space at the break point of the route. The break point here is at 6 steps from the line of scrimmage at 1.8 seconds of time. That's the definition. How do we measure it? What we use is the first third of flight path tool. This is the first third of flight path tool. At the rhythm phase, you take a line, you draw the flight line that the ball's going to undergo all the way to the splashdown space, which is around 15 yards here. Take that flight path and divide it up into thirds. In order to have elite anticipation, the ball should be in this first third section of that flight path. So the ball flight should be here. Okay, you can see the ball still in Jaden's hands. Therefore, that now tells us that his footwork is not matching the route break integrity that you see on the screen. Now we know where the issue is. Now we can inform the quarterback, hey, the issue is when you use a play action same side fake, or like the previous clip, use a play action across, you have to manipulate your drop to fit and stay within that rhythm timeline. Remember, the play action is counted as a step. So you can't just drop. So if we were just going to drop back and just take a normal quick 3-step drop, we'd be in rhythm phase. Okay, you can see there he is late with the throw. Now the safety is able to pick it off. He was not in the first third of the flight path, and therefore the interception ensues. Okay, now here's an example of high school film. This is my quarterback here. We're working a play action crosser. Okay, so what do? Let's go to the tight shot so you can see it much cleaner. Right, the goal is to sync footwork up with the rhythm phase breakpoint of the route. So the quarterback one has to know, okay, where's the breakpoint of the route being thrown? Crossers can be tricky because there's no distinct break from the receiver sticking his foot in the ground. Therefore, we put that timeline of the sixth step. Okay, so the receiver knows on his sixth step from the line of scrimmage, that's the rhythm phase. The quarterback knows how to match that footwork with that break point. And if we are using a play action fake, the maximum amount of drop he could take here would be a one step. So you can see there's the play action and there's the one step drop. So this is the rhythm phase. And now this allows the quarterback to get the ball out at the break point. You can see if we use the first third of the flight path tool, the ball is in the first third of that flight path, which reinforces to us that this is elite anticipation, and then further tells us that he has properly synced his drop and decision with the requirements of the route break. That allows us to hit the receiver in stride at full speed and net a 77-yard touchdown game, which you did not see in the previous two clips because the quarterback was late with the throw, which was essentially tied to not using the proper footwork. So I tell quarterbacks and quarterback coaches all the time, your drops have to be a toolbox, and you have to know how to manipulate the drops based on what is occurring with the defense or what is occurring with the play action or drop mechanics. It's like driving a stick shift race car. You have to be able to change the gears, and sometimes you're going to have to change them on the drop with a sub-second feel. These require specific drills and specific protocols, but once you understand how to design a toolbox, how to code it, you can get much better. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about was coding anticipations. We defined it, we measured it, and we code it simply plus minus. This is something that I will grade with my quarterbacks. And so if the ball's in the first third of the flight path, that's positive anticipation. If it's late, like you saw in some of these other clips, so like for example, if I'm watching film and the break point of the route occurs and the ball's still in the quarterback's hands, that would be negative anticipation. I think it's important that you grade this and establish these standards for your quarterback so you can give him an awareness of what the expectations are, the goals. And most quarterbacks I know are very competitive. So this is something I put at the very front of our grading sheet every Saturday morning when we come in and watch film. I want to show you this grading sheet that we use. The first step in using the R4 quarterback grading sheet is you want to take your previous game's data. So let's say it's Saturday, we just entered in the data into the offensive clips of our team. We're going to now take all those clips and export them. We would export that data into an Excel playlist. Okay, now we're going to open up the playlist, and there's all of our information. The only two columns I'm going to highlight are going to be the play number column and then our huddle call column. It may be your just offensive play call column. I'm going to copy those. And then now I'm going to open up the grading sheet. So this is an example of what our grading sheet looks like. There is 10 tabs, games 1 through 10 for the regular season. I'm currently on game 9. You have 4 tabs for playoffs, and then you have 2 more tabs for preseason scrimmages and a summary tab. So we're going to take that play number column and offensive play column. We're going to paste that into week 9, because let's say we just graded week 9. I'm going to delete these scores for you real quick. And let's start with the first play. It'd be actually play 6 on the huddle playlist. So what I'm doing is I'm watching film. I can watch it in another monitor. And while I'm watching that film play out and grade my quarterback, I'm inputting any corrections and the scores for the columns that we want to grade on this grading sheet. So let's say for the first example, this is an RPO and the quarterback had negative anticipation on it. And the reason why he had negative anticipation because he didn't take a one-step drop after the RPO mesh. He took a 3-step. So I make a note, must take 1-step drop. Now we grade 4 things on our grading sheet. These are all customizable up at the top. You can grade whatever you want. We always give a cap read grade. Cap read for us is a way that we use to determine when the man advantage is in our favor. So we use this for RPOs to determine if it's a run pass. We also use it for runs to know which side of space to check to. And we use it for dropbacks as well to know where the best side of space is. So that cap read grade, in this case, was a positive because he made the right decision to throw the RPO. So we simply put a 1 if it's positive, and it grades that as green 100%. QBA is QB anticipation. That was negative, so we give him a 0 grade there. QBF is quarterback fundamentals, so he took a wrong or improper drop, so that would also be a 0 there. And then QBD is QB decision. The decision was correct, and to throw the ball, and his pre-snap decision to get there was correct, so that is a 1. So that's an example of how we grade one play. As we grade all the information in the appropriate columns, it keeps a running tab up here at the top. So these averages will adjust as we grade further plays, and then it averages all 4 of these grades at the end to get an overall grade for your quarterback. So it allows you to gauge, is he improving overall, or are there certain areas where he's deficient? And it allows you now to maybe script or plan better individual drills for practice time that week, or highlight maybe plays that aren't just going to work based on your quarterback's talent level. So that's a quick rundown of how the grading sheet works. Here's an example of what a fully filled out grading sheet looks like. So you can see these are all the plays graded with the coaching notes there. I've highlighted the clip numbers to give to one of our coaches to go back and make a cut up tape for me. That's a teach tape for my quarterback. You can see that the running averages are kept there for each column. And again, these are fully customizable. You can change these to whatever you want. It doesn't affect the grades. What I like the most about this is the summary tab. If you look at the summary tab, you can see this is my quarterback's progression throughout the year. And you can see that by the end of the season, now we just did game 9 as an example, so that ignore that score. But there is consistent improvement. We're looking for green. If you start to track down in red, that might be highlighting some glaring issues that you want to fix. But that's what I like about the summary sheet. Another thing I like about it is it allows you tabs to grade your second and third team quarterbacks. So let's say like you're in a game, like this is game 1, and at halftime you're up, or maybe your starter's not doing very well. You put your backup in, and you can start grading your number 2 guy here and number 3, and it keeps those tabs populated, and it puts those summary scores all the way through the year. This is also really good if you have a quarterback competition going on in your program, which is very prevalent today with all the transferring that's happening. And if you have a quarterback competition, it's very important that you as a coach are recording and ranking every day. And so this auto-populated sheet allows you to do that in practice and in games. You can track every rep. You can give feedback to the head coach of why you're making the decision you are. If you have a parent meeting, you can show them, here's where your son is exceeding, here's where he's deficient, and this is why he is where he's at. So again, that's a quick overview of the game plan grading sheet. You're going to get that included free in the R4 Film Mastery Toolkit. So if you buy the toolkit, this is a free add-on that we put in there to give you a chance to excel and improve your ability to grade film for your quarterback. So check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so going back to review, when it comes to anticipation, the first thing we have to do is we have to define it. And anticipation for us is the decision and the action of the throw at the break point of the route. So your quarterback has to have an understanding of route breakpoints, and that's what essentially R4 is. It's defining every route that could be ran in the game of football, and it's placed them in a specific family based on those route break and space timestamps. So it allows the quarterback to quickly understand where those happen in a timeline. After we establish the definition of anticipation, the next thing we have to do is make sure we have a tool to measure it, right? We have a common language and we have frames of reference that can measure that so the quarterback can understand when that point happens. So again, how do we measure anticipation? We use the first third of the flight path tool. That tool will come to light at the break point of the route is 15 yards. That's the splashdown space of the rhythm crosser. And the ball has to be in that first third section in order to be considered elite anticipation. If it's not, it's in the hands of the quarterback, that's negative. And that further entails on how we grade anticipation. So how do we grade it? It's a simple plus minus based on where the ball location is in that first third of the flight path. You can see it is in the first third there. That's positive anticipation. And that's what we put on the grading sheet. And then we move on. So again, highly recommend you to start looking at that with your quarterbacks. You're going to start to see a big jump in explosive play rate. You're going to see less interceptions and incompletions. We'll see you in the next video.